Hello and welcome to Allegedly Astrology. Each week we break down the astrology that happened during some of the biggest scandals and events in history.
Thanks so much to everyone for listening to our show. If you want to support us, you can leave us a 5-star review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
And if you do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and DM us a screenshot of your review, we'll make you a custom meme of your big three and send you a quick write-up about it.
We also have a very cool and exclusive Patreon, so if you want more awesome astrology content, join us at patreon.com/allegedlyastrology.
And follow us on social. You can find us at Allegedly Astrology on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and Allegedly Astro on Twitter. You could also visit our website, allegedlyastrology.com, to learn more about us, the show. And this is a new development. You can email Dana for readings at astrologyreadingsbydana@gmail.com.
Woo! Email Dana. So Dana, what are we talking about today?
Stranger Things.
This is part 2 of our Stranger Things series. And if you haven't listened, go back and listen to part 1. You'll love it.
You'll love that. And even though we've been talking about Stranger Things as it relates to our TV screens, there is also a Stranger Things play, which I had no idea about until I started researching theories for this latest season. And then everyone's like, well, in the play. I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean there's a play? So this play is called Stranger Things, The First Shadow. And it's a prequel to the current Stranger Things. And it's a stage show set in 1959 Hawkins, focusing on a young Joyce, Hopper, Bob. Who's Bob?
Remember, like, the guy that died that was the guy who played
Bob.
Rudy?
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P.
Forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
And the mysterious Henry Creel, who we find out later becomes Vecna.
Which, okay, is weird because to me, Henry does not look the same age as like Hopper and Joyce. He looks younger.
Yeah, and yeah, he looks like
he got stuck. Like he never got to be old.
I think
he wasn't that much
point.
older than 11. It seemed like he was maybe, 8 years older than her tops when she stuck him?
I don't know. I'm sure they'll like
Maybe I should see the play.
explain that. But yeah, I don't know. There seems like a lot. But anyway.
The play was written by the Duffer Brothers and the executive producer of Stranger Things, so people that know a thing or two about the lore, and it explores the origins of the show's darkness.
Yes, and the show premiered in London, but it's now on Broadway.
And it's been winning a ton of awards, like Tony Awards, a bunch of theater kinds of awards, especially for the special effects they use during the show. And it is now considered by fans as canon. So what it says is the origins.
It's crazy. And so it clearly holds clues to how the series will conclude. So what was happening when the Stranger Things play came out?
It came out on April 22nd, 2025 in New York.
Well, this is the New York Broadway debut.
Oh, should we do the original? I guess it doesn't matter.
The New York one is the one I recognize.
America, right. Okay.
So just say it made its Broadway debut on.
Okay. This play made its Broadway debut on April 22nd, 2025 in New York City. And this is the nodal opposition again of the Stranger Things debut. So it makes total sense to reintroduce something that, significant into this storyline, especially in a different medium, but with the same story. What I really like about this chart is that Venus, Saturn, and the North Node are all conjunct in Pisces. Venus loves to be in Pisces. The North Node here is lending comfort. You have to really learn when to ask for help. I wonder what the play, what it's about. Maybe people helping each other. I mean, that's what the show's about. This chart also has a Taurus sun and an Aquarius moon. And the sun is in a T-square with the Mars in Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius. So this is also really good for sort of setting up, it makes so much sense that automatically the content of this play was taken as fixed lore, because these are fixed signs. Taurus is all about comfort, so maybe it provides some sort of comfort. Mars in Leo indicates an automatic sort of celebrity, and opposite Pluto in Aquarius, it really leans into that sort of sci-fi stars, I like that a lot, to be honest, especially for acting. And then we have Jupiter in Gemini, so this is a good time for adaptations. It's a good time to make a new creative copy of something or to, again,
A
adapt
prequel.
a prequel. But yeah, overall, also Neptune is at 0 degrees Aries, which is pretty interesting, conjunct
Hmm.
Mercury. So we're telling a new story, but it's an old story, which
A new old
very cool.
story.
A new old story. I want to see this play. I
Hmm.
really just right now, I want to see it.
Interesting. I know. I'm like, should I go see it before?
You
But
should.
I'm not gonna see it. I'm not gonna be able to see it before I watch the finale.
Oh, but you should see it at some point, probably. I'll see it if it
Yeah, I
comes to
guess.
Chicago, probably. I don't really seek out plays very often.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not really a play, like a Broadway play girl. I would love to avoid a musical.
Mhm.
But I've been hearing like from people, because yeah, I am listening to podcasts about Stranger Things.
Mhm.
But one of the things they're saying is there's a lot of stuff in the play that explains what you're seeing, especially when it comes to like Vecna's mind and
Interesting.
like the mountain and stuff that's where Max is living. And so there's like a lot of stuff.
Wonder if I could pirate it. If I
The
pirate it,
play.
I'm going to post the link on Patreon, and so you'll have to join in order to find out.
Okay.
So, Stranger Things sadly is wrapping up. It's finishing its final season, and we may not know what's going to happen in the show yet, but we do know that it's going to be bittersweet because we're going to miss all our like little Stranger Things friends. So, what's going on the day the final episode of the season or the
The
series?
series,
Yeah,
yeah.
will air, Dana.
Okay, so this is December 31st, 2025 at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Did this ever
Really?
say? I
So it's
guess.
not coming out till 8 p.m. on New Year's Eve?
Yeah. Which
And this
honestly,
I
they're
guess if
trying
it's
to
like
take over
the
every major
holidays, yeah. I mean,
holiday of
I'll
this
watch
year.
that on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
also, I mean, I guess I wonder. Wait, they're doing it so that people maybe could ring in the new year if they start. I don't know.
Well, I
Oh
know
my
it's also gonna be
goodness.
in theaters. Like, some
Oh
theaters will
wow.
have it because it's gonna be, like, 3 hours long. Like, the last
Well,
episode is really
well,
long.
Oh,
it will be good for kids to have wholesome plans on New Year's Eve, I guess.
it was really
Well,
cute.
that's also what's oh, you
No,
go.
you.
Oh,
You.
I was gonna say that's what's, like, funny about Stranger Things. It's, like, one episode will be, like, 45 minutes, and, like, the next episode will be, like, 2 hours and 15 minutes, and you're
Oh
like,
boy.
"How is this working?" It's always so long.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time. It was just cute because my cousin was using my Netflix. She's 20 years old and in college, and she was 11 when the show came out, like 11 years old when the show came out. Now she's 20, so it's like she aligns with the ages of the characters. And I feel like for that age group, I don't know, kids who are
That's
born
how
in
I felt
like
about reading the Harry Potter books.
yeah, same. Oh yeah, that's so cool. I didn't ever. I'm glad you said that. Now I have a point of reference.
Now you can relate to your cousin.
So yeah, so I just thought it was cute how excited she was because I was like, I forgot that it was even coming out. And okay, so December 31st, 2025. And the sun's in Capricorn, the moon's in Gemini. We love that. I love this combination, a Capricorn and Gemini combo. I guess unsurprisingly. But again, this is the nodal opposition of the debut of the show. So it's really excellent symmetry, although it is weird how few seasons, I guess, have occurred in about a decade, nearly a decade. But 9.5 years is a nodal opposition. So if something happens on that timeline, just know it was destiny. The Sun, Venus, and Mars are all in Capricorn conjunct Stranger Things debuts Pluto. So this is a nice send
Oh.
off. Pluto is the slowest outer planet, and it really indicates a lot. But one thing it indicates is like things that make a mark on culture. And this show being so much about like government systems, like that's a lot of what Pluto in Capricorn deals with. And sort of like Pluto giving a grim view to the power of Pluto. Pluto's about dark power often, but it's often looked at when examining charts of people who are dark and have a lot of power, like Epstein or something. And so Pluto in Capricorn being activated, it reiterates the original sort of power of the show, as well as maybe like the message. Maybe they were able to really tie it up in a seamless way. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, oh, think of all the things that have happened in culture since then. Because really, there have been many, and that would be one way. Because a Capricorn has so much to do with like acknowledging time. So that would be interesting. Also, what I love about this chart is that Jupiter is conjunct the sun of the debut. So Jupiter in Cancer, where it loves to be, is conjunct the sun. So maybe it'll be a really great moment for, like Winona Ryder as a mom. Maybe 11 will be a mom in the show. I hope not.
She's like 16 in the show, but I mean, I guess they're gonna have an epilogue which shows
I
like what
almost said
happens to
stranger
them.
things have happened. And then so dumb. But yeah, no, I really like that this chart has Sun, Mars, Venus in Capricorn. Because again, in Capricorn, a Saturn ruled sign, it lends so much staying power. And then with Saturn conjunct Neptune in Pisces, with Neptune at the final degree, it's also acknowledging like the end of an era for sure. Saturn being about endings and Neptune being about so much about like the fame of one era. Because I mean, these people are no longer children and they're playing, I guess, high schoolers. But yeah, also like the themes, the topics, sort of like the fantastical maybe ideas we once had. And then Chiron is conjunct Uranus. So with that, I guess people, I don't know, maybe there's going to be a surprise death.
Not Steve, but I think it will be Steve if
Really,
someone
that sucks.
dies.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Please don't do it.
Interesting.
But yeah, this is
Don't
an
do it.
interesting.
Please don't do it.
Yeah.
All right. So we covered a lot of the charts for the real life actors in our last episode. But this episode, we're going to dive into some of the charts for the characters in the show.
Yes, we're not going to do all of them because we can't be here all day, but we will start off with our troubled king, Will Byers. So Will Byers is one of the main characters of the like little group of boys plus 11. And he is very shy and artistic. And unfortunately for him, he gets kidnapped by Vecna and taken into the Upside Down. And honestly, he's never really been the same. So what is his chart like, Dana?
Okay, Will Byers, the character, was born March 22nd, 1971, and he has an Aries sun and an Aquarius moon. So a moon in Aquarius, first thing I thought, oh, lonely. But also it's so interesting because he's in many ways the star of the first season, like they're trying to find him, but he's not on like camera a lot. So he's more talked about than he is, Leo would be on camera and Aquarius is like, we're talking about this person we're trying to find.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool or, very interesting in terms of how the hypothetical chart lines up with the character. His sun is conjunct Chiron and opposite Uranus in Libra. Sun opposite Uranus is very much sci-fi. And then when it comes to Chiron opposite Uranus, I mean, Chiron was opposite Uranus for most of the second half of the 20th century, by sign at least, and also a lot of times closely by degree. We all have it, I think. I mean, I do. But yeah, so this sort of opposition, I guess maybe that was that the advent of sci-fi? To my knowledge, it was, which is all that matters in this moment as I speak. But yeah, Chiron with the sun is really like permanent wounds. It's wounding as a child, developmental wounds. And then with it also opposite Uranus, it's like sudden but mysterious circumstances. And then Venus, he has a Venus North Node conjunction in Aquarius. So he's the core of a community. People really like him. He's a common cause too, which is also this conjunction in Aquarius. And then he has a Jupiter Neptune conjunction in Sagittarius, which is very much about like traveling to other realms.
Oh, yeah. Especially, right now in
Like
this chart.
permeating, it just makes it like
Yeah. Well, I also think too with Chiron on his sun, so much of his story, and I think what they're building up in season 5 is him finally coming to terms with like wounds he's had and finding his own power.
Okay.
Which, Dana, you need to watch
Yeah.
the first part of season 5. Because before he was just this like sad little guy. After he was kidnapped, he just is kind of always just staring off into space and getting like the weird tingles on his neck. But
Yeah, the first season concludes with a scene of him like coughing into the sink, like lint.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Or like
when
a
he's
slug.
coughing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had that thing hooked up to his mouth.
Yes.
And it was
Well,
gross.
In season 1, Will gets kidnapped. Is kidnapped the right word?
Well, I mean, he is just dragged into
Just
another
dragged.
dimension.
Yeah, he gets dragged into another dimension. And that's what sets the stage for the whole show and its corresponding seasons. So what was going on when Will disappeared?
This was November 6th, 1983. And yeah, Will Byers disappears, 11 arrives, a Demogorgon appears.
Oh, yes.
And the sun was in Scorpio, no surprise there. And the moon was in Sagittarius, along with Uranus, Jupiter, the South Node, and Neptune. So with the moon Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and the South Node all in Sagittarius. This again is really about going to other realms, nebulous destinations. Sagittarius loves to travel and all with Uranus and Neptune, and then also the South Node. It's like it's again the South Node is like an upside down North Node, so it's literally like an upside down. There's also a stellium in Scorpio in this chart with the Sun, Saturn, Mercury, and Pluto. So this was like the week that Pluto ingressed into Scorpio. So it's like really hitting that trauma early. Like we're gonna waste no time. We got this. And it's also in the earth, which again, I said on the previous episode, part 1, that Scorpio is like the scorpion is in the earth. It's the bowels of the earth. It's traveling in, the mud, the dirt, which to me is sort of what the upside down looks like. And yeah, Scorpio has dark themes. We all know that. The Venus and Mars are conjunct in Virgo. So this is reflecting like persistent friends and family. Mars is pursuit, Venus is love. It's a thorough as hell search. Venus in Virgo can also be like people being less than charitable, especially to women. People think like thinking Joy Spires is crazy, which I guess they had some points, but she was right. So there's that. Also, then when we look at this around Will Byers' chart, it was his first Jupiter return. So for his first Jupiter return in Sagittarius, he's going on a first class trip, getting dragged into the upside down. That solar Scorpio stellium is in his 8th solar house. So counting from his sun, it's the 8th house. This is the house of trauma, death, and mystery. It's his first Saturn opposition. So it's his first time handling adversity with like any modicum of sentience, really. That's what the Saturn opposition, the first one, is about. There's some amount of independence, and it's often the premature sort of experiences that you have that give you independence, that you're not like, it's not like a gap year. It's like, again, getting dragged into hell. And then Mars and Venus were conjunct his natal Pluto, which, again, about him getting dragged into the earth in Virgo.
Well, I think also too that stellium in the first chart of when he disappeared, all that Sagittarius is like an adventure. To me, it's like
Oh,
you
yeah.
need like a bunch of courage for whatever is about to happen. Like this is like you setting off on this big adventure in your life.
I love that.
I know, it is cute, but all the Scorpio is like honestly perfect for like the upside
Yeah, it's
down
like
and like
wet
all
and on
this.
fire somehow.
Yeah,
People always think Scorpio is
like
a
a
fire
lot.
sign.
Oh, yeah, because I feel like it just seems like it kind of would be. I feel like most people don't think of Scorpio as super emotional because 'cause they're so good about hiding it until they don't hide it, and then it's like, "Oh, you're coming to stab me for this slight that happened 15 years ago."
Digging the
Oh
knife
my
in.
god, which in the Diddy documentary, one of his friends is like, "He never forgot a slight," and I'm like, "That's Scorpio, man. It'll get ya." But the opposite of Diddy, this show is about friendship. So there's a strong bond between the main group of kids, but especially between Will and Mike.
And there's tons of fan love for Will and Mike being together because the Stranger Things plot is making it seem like Will is gay and in love with Mike. So, what is their synastry like?
Yeah, people are shipping and shipping
Shipping 'em.
hard.
Okay, Mike Wheeler was born April 7th, 1971. And he has his sun in Aries, just like Will, and his moon in Virgo. So the only difference in their charts, sign wise, are Will has his moon and Venus conjunct in Aquarius and his Mercury in Aries. And Mike has his moon in Virgo, opposite his Venus in Pisces, and his Mercury in Taurus. So his
Oh,
Mercury
yeah,
in
because they're
Taurus,
born so close.
yeah. And the Mercury in Taurus really informs their different experiences in like their childhoods, right? Like Mercury in Aries for Will is conjunct his Chiron, which has to do with wounding. Like he's raised by a single mother, and they're not as privileged as Mike. And then Mike's Mercury is in Taurus, so he's more used to luxury. But, he had like a little bit, he definitely has like more. He communicates whatever. His mindset is just more abundant. But yeah, okay. So Will with the moon, Venus, and North Node conjunction in Aquarius for Will. This is, his mom's a little out there. She's a little nuts, but she stops at nothing to find him. And then the moon opposite Venus for Mike. His mom is like less involved in what they're doing. Like they're able to hide a little girl in the basement for a very long time.
Yes.
So really it works to both of their benefits. But yeah, this is how, with the moon being so much related to mothers, that's
What about their like vibes together though?
so in terms of the moon for Mike's moon in Virgo, it's in Will's 6th house. It's in both of their 6th house from their sun. And then his Venus
Mhm.
is in his 12th house, both of their 12th house. So with this opposition, it's able to access the realm of like, I'm going to help you no matter what, 6th house. And then the like, I'm finding you even though you aren't anywhere, like I don't know where you are. So,
Mhm.
and like this is like a little codependent, but also just persistent and filled with like love and service. It's like a spiritual connection. And
Cute.
then, yeah, with Will's placements in Mike's 11th house, he gets like the friendship that maybe he doesn't always. He has the North Node and Venus in his 11th house. Like, yeah, of course this guy's in love with him, but also maybe there's just so much friendship and, and connection between the two of them. There's history as well as future.
Yeah. And then finally, the last chart we're going to look at for this show is the chart between Mike and 11. They are dating in the show. 11, obviously, the one with powers. She's like a baddie. And then we have Mike, which Mike, the last few seasons, he's supposed to be like the heart of the party being like their Dungeons and Dragons group. But I feel like the last
I like how you have to
seasons,
explain what
like,
party is because it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
traditional,
the
but
heart of the
sure.
party, because he's definitely not the heart of a party.
Yeah.
But the last few seasons, he's been kind of like a wet blanket, but I feel like maybe that's just like
Burnout.
puberty happening to him. Yeah. But let's see what their synastry's like.
Okay, so 11 was born on June 7th, 1971, and she is a Gemini,
Woo!
which,
Wow, mental, so mental. She moves things
yeah,
with her mind.
she does move things with her mind. And her
She's
moon is
yeah.
either in Sagittarius or Scorpio, but let's be real, it's probably in Scorpio. I mean, she does go to the upside down with, in either event, her moon is conjunct Jupiter in the 29th degree of Scorpio and Neptune at the 1st degree of Sagittarius. So this is totally being able to go to other realms. Jupiter with at the
Mm.
final degree of Scorpio is so much about the upside down. It's about people taking her maybe for granted in a way, but she's also able to she's so much like such a bevy of power. I love that she has Venus conjunct Saturn, and this is conjunct Mike's natal Saturn. So this is like really, they can't quit each other. Saturn placement or Saturn
Cute.
synastry is unquittable. And then with her Jupiter opposite his Saturn, that also creates a balance to his like intensity, like it makes him more giving. Jupiter in Scorpio, the axis of Taurus and Scorpio is all about trust. So he trusts her. There's like automatic trust there, right? Like he like teaches her English basically. So they like, automatically bond and have a lot of trust. Yeah, so I mean that was my favorite part of this chart. Also, they both potentially, well, no. I mean, the sun with Aries and Aries and Gemini together are a fun combination, but just to get to know 11 a little better, I think it's also very on point that she has Mars conjunct the North Node in Aquarius,
Oh,
especially with moving
yeah.
things with her mind. This is an air sign being like,
Yeah.
and also like, I mean, it's an air sign and Mars, like she's literally gets nosebleeds, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. My sister in
Yeah.
nosebleeds.
Just for anyone who doesn't know, Sarah gets nosebleeds frequently.
Non-cocaine related, okay?
Non-cocaine, non-moving things with my mind. I think I just have large blood vessels in there that are easily spooked.
Oh,
And
interesting. Easily spooked. That's
yeah.
interesting. I like that.
All right, so who's more compatible? This could be friendship-wise, romance-wise, but who's more compatible? Mike and 11 or Mike and Will?
Mike and Will.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Not
I
what I
mean,
thought you'd
like,
say.
people don't always choose people who are more compatible. People like friction. I mean,
Yeah,
like the
friction does
sun
make people.
sextile. Mike and Will have so much in common that it's just like sort of easy to say compatible, but
Hmm.
hmm, either way, there's commonality between there's definitely like, so if we're looking at Mike and 11, there's commonality between their suns and moons. So like a sun sextile and then either a moon square or a moon sextile. If we're doing Scorpio, which I do think the moon would be in Scorpio for 11, especially because she like never gets to know her mother, but her mother is such a
Mm,
central part of her story. So
mm.
yeah, if anyone has more questions about it, let me know. But
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah,
I'm sure, I mean, the fanfic about both are plentiful. Sarah,
incredible.
well, Dana hasn't watched season 5 yet.
I'll think my
But Sarah, what what do you want to you don't have to close your ears. I'm just saying, like, how would you like to see the show end? Like, what would be a satisfying finale for you?
Okay, I don't know because I know this is like a fictional show about a band of children. And when you have a lot of children, there are a lot of rules. Like typically kids don't die. I know they did
Mhm.
play around with like what happened with Max. But to me, I'm like, I feel like someone has to die. And I don't want them to die, but realistically, one of them has to die. Like they can't always be going into the upside down versus these like government soldiers,
Right,
messing
and,
around
like,
and no one
coming out
dies.
unscathed.
But I hate to say this, but I feel like a satisfying ending is like the upside like something has to happen to the upside down. Like I think like Will or 11 have to like make a sacrifice to
Mm.
get out of the upside down because like 11 kind of created it or at least opened a portal in it and Will is attached to it. So I think one of them have to do something.
I
I just don't
guess,
want it to
yeah.
be like, "Oh, like, we find out that this whole thing was just their game of Dungeons& and Dragons,"
That
and
would
they're
be
like,
like the ending
"Oh,
of
we've been
Roseanne.
playing this. None of this has happened. It was all"
That's
Yeah, exactly.
That would be the
that
finale
would
of Roseanne. That would be so
that
cheap.
would be no, people would riot. People would actually riot if that was the case. Yeah, I'm just curious, like, can they destroy the upside down or will the portals just be closed? Like,
I
like
don't
there's a
know.
difference between just like
There has to be, in my opinion, there has to be a cost for an ending to be good, like Sarah
right.
said, right? It can't just be
Well, I'm
like
also
butterflies.
Yeah. No, exactly. There's so many fan theories, but I know Mike probably is theoretically going to survive because he was one of the last scenes, and I know you, like, don't shoot scenes in, like, sequential order, but he was, like, the last actor to have his scene, and he's, like, sitting on a bench in Hawkins, so, like, obviously, it's not shot in order, that doesn't really mean anything, but I'm like, Mike would survive because he's, like, so whatever that, like,
Mhm.
he's not a risk of dying, like, I don't know.
Wow, Sarah really not loving Mike Wheeler on this up.
Well, he's always just been a kind of like whatever character, and they're always like, "You're the heart of the party," and it's like, why? He's always just like being like a downer about everything. Mike. And then I don't know. Yeah, he's not my fave. But now Will's becoming my fave now that he's like actually got a personality and he's
Oh,
out there in the
cool.
street.
That's good to hear.
But yeah,
How do you want it
because
to end,
before he
Elise?
was just like crying.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I want the good guys to win. I want everyone to defeat Vecna. I want to know why all this is happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what would feel like a satisfying ending to me. But yeah, I'm just worried about who's gonna die.
I'm a little offended
Someone's
that they
gotta
gave
die.
him such an Eastern European sounding name as my
Who?
ancestors.
Vecna?
Vecna.
Vecna?
Yes. It is. It is really.
Well, but they're doing Cold War shit, so makes
Yeah,
sense.
Cold War shit. All right, you guys. Well, that's been part 2 of our 2-part Stranger Things breakdown. We are excited to see how this all shapes up at the end of the month. So nervous, excited, and we'll have to just see what happens.
Yay.
And with that, I'm Elise,
I'm Dana.
And I'm Sarah.
and this is Allegedly Astrology.
Thank you.
Bye.
We love you.
Thank you.